Many thanks for your company. We are coming to you live from digital address GA0992539. Let's start with this shocking and disturbing story from the Eastern region, where a health practitioner has administered some injections. As a result of that, some 3 people are said to have died. The health practitioner at the new CENSUS Health Center injected 5 people with a mixture that first causes the buttocks of the patients to rot, and after a few days they die. Joy News is learning that 2 people are currently battling for their lives after receiving the injection meant to treat a skin condition. That's more in the following report.
This is the new CENSUS Health Center where Eugenia Achupi Dafa and then Kwajo Chreme took their injections for various skin conditions. In there is poorly ventilated, poorly lit, and stuffy. Officials here are not prepared to speak to us. According to them, the matter is still under investigation. But the hospital, as we have witnessed, is still under operation.
She went to the CENSUS clinic in question, and then she was injected in the first on the 9th, and then she came back home. Then she realized that she felt some pain, but then she didn't take it straight because a normal injection, you have to just enjoy it. The second day, that was the second time, that was the 12th, because she was asked to come the 9th, 12th, and the 13th. On the second day, that's the 12th, she went again, and the pain, still persisted. Then she complained again, thinking when she goes this time, after all, they will just see to it that maybe because of the injection, maybe they might stop. But they didn't stop. They injected the 3rd time again on the same place. So the place, when she came home, the place became so swollen, and then, of course, everybody expect that the pain she will enjoy the pain at point in time, but then the pain get on swollen, and then she couldn't bear it any longer. So mommy asked her to go to VRA on Sunday, and then she went. When she got there, she was admitted actually. So Monday morning, I think some tests were carried out at the VRA hospital, and they realized that the place was decaying. And so they ran tests on her again, and they took her to the theater on Tuesday, and she was operated. So I couldn't understand the whole thing. So Wednesday after work, I went to the place to find out what happened. When I went there, I met a nurse on duty, and I asked to see the in charge, the one who administered the injections for people the previous week. And so he's gone on course, he's not around. But from my sister, she said the man and the other nurse injected her. So the 2 people who injected her when she came there. So I asked that they should call the in charge for me. The nurse said she was on me, she's the meeting. And then they are suffering for it. So it will be on his best interest to come down and come and see how people are suffering. He said why he can't come down now unless he comes close from the program. I insisted. I said that if that's the case, I'll make it a police case. He told me that there's no way police will arrest him because it's a government facility. I said, really? We clear my sister, clear others too, and ask you to come down. I tell him it's a government system. He said, well, then he cut the line. I didn't see anything. I went straight to the hospital. So my sister's condition, it was so bad. Just like a yam will get rotten and you scrape the inside. That's how the sore was. So the surgeon said that, according to the surgeon, they'll scrape some of her parts, body parts, in a way of plastic surgery to heal the place, and they'll address the place. And for the next day, when they come back again, the whole place will be rotting again. And it was scattering. It was deepening and scattering. So the last time, the surgeon said that his last hope is what he's doing because he didn't know which part he should cut again. And the sore persisted. He wasn't the only person. She wasn't the only person. There were 5 on admission that day. And then I visited all of them. They all had 3 surgeons, consequently. And
all of them had gone to the same clinic?
Yeah, the same clinic. But when I instead on the nurse to tell me what happened, she said all that she knew was that the drug the man usually used got finished. But he mixed some drugs before injecting them. That's what the nurse told me. And then another nurse also confirmed the same story from the health insurance by a man come to the health insurance and they want to have their cars updated. And they are in hurry. They leave it with her before they come back. She made sure she's done that for them and they come for them. So she's like, she had no grudge with anybody as far as I'm concerned. And she's the smiling type, a jovial type.
Were you two the only children of your parents, or there are others? And what's her position in the family in terms of the children?
We are 3 from mommy's side. On my daddy's side, there are 4.
Was that the first time she went to that facility, or she's been going there?
That was the second time. As I gathered, that was the second time. And people even came here to console us and sympathize with us. Also said that they have been going there. They have been going there. So that hasn't been the first time she went there.
So now, as a family, what do you want done in this case?
I want justice to prevail and to, arrest the spreading of the, infection or the drug or the injection around nationwide, so people will be safe from the injection.
Our investigative journalist Manasseh Azuria Wuni is on this case and will bring you updates as and when they are available. Away from that, lawyers for the NDC Deputy General Secretary Koku Anyidoho are confident the state may drop the case of treason leveled against him as he prepares to face CID officers after the holidays.
Mr. Anyidoho's Oyarifa neighborhood was relatively peaceful when I arrived at about 2 p.m. on Thursday. After hours of waiting, the siren of a police dispatch rider prompted me that the NDC Deputy General Secretary was approaching home. As I walked closer to his vehicle when he alighted, he signaled me to engage his lawyer, Roxin Dafiamepo.
Talk to the lawyer first.
Lawyer Dafiamepo explained why Mr. Anyidoho had to report to the CID once again.
So we have a temporary reprieve. In the interim, he's been released on bail, police inquiry bail, to at least be with his family to celebrate the Easter festivities. And then when that is over, and we go back on Tuesday, other consequential steps can be followed.
For Mr. Anyidoho, his stay behind bars was peaceful.
Yeah, we thank God. I mean, the law had to work based on some information out there. And so the police did their job professionally, and I want to congratulate them and thank them, the CID unit led by DCOP Mamitiwa Adodankwa. And so here we are, my lawyers, the BNI director and his people, and of course the other men who you can see them here. And so we thank God, and at least Ghana is working.
Were you comfortable all through?
Interesting experience. But let me say for the records, I was not manhandled at any point in time. No. Not by the CID, not by the BNI. I was not manhandled at any point in time.
How about food-wise? I mean, was the meal good?
You want to know?
I want to know.
We'll discuss that later.
The other issue was the support.
No, but it was good. No, for the records, just for the media, it was good. It was good.
The other issue is the support from your party supporters, other sympathizers. Was it something that you were even aware of in the first place?
As Deputy General Secretary of the party, I didn't doubt the fact that we had a support base and we believe in comradeship and camaraderie. But what happened in the last 2 days has been excellent, exciting. We thank the grassroots, we thank everybody. Former President Dramani Mahama, the party chairman, General Secretary, leadership in Parliament, of course, the lawyers, and everybody. We thank God.
The engagement could not have ended without asking him whether his views on the coup comments remain same. The statement, any regrets?
Which statement? Okay.
So on Tuesday, we can expect Mr. Koku Anyidoho to exit this particular residence. Next time around, not going over to the party headquarters or the BNI where he was kept, but rather to the CID headquarters to engage investigators further. Reporting for Journeys from Oyarifa, my name is Joseph Akable.
Away from that to some news from the agricultural sector, research suggests the world will run out of chocolate by 2050 because of the effect climate change has on cocoa production in West Africa. A good mix of temperature and rainfall are a boost to production. Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin has more in this report.
About 70% of the world's cocoa beans come from West Africa, specifically Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. Equatorial warm and wet climates in the two countries favor growth of the cocoa tree. Harsh conditions like hot, dry Sahel winds from the Sahara at time of flowering or heavy rains during harvest lead to crop failure. Climate change is predicted to cause both long dry spells and erratic weather events. Both are bad for cocoa on the farm and by extension on the market. This 12-acre cocoa farm belongs to Nana Adakwa in the Bosonche district of the Ashanti region. Like other farmers, Adakwa feels the pinch of climate change.
Concerning the drought, every year, let's say every year, it affects our cocoa. And the drought affects the cocoa farm. The yields decrease.
He says the drought is taking a toll on his farm.
Sometimes we had the seedlings around August, September. So immediately we planted it. November, that was the last rain. So the drought was between 2 to 3 months, or less than 3 months. So it affects the young ones.
So what happens to them?
It died.
So how many cocoa trees died last year? Your own, I mean.
My own, let me say about 1,000 something.
Died from the drought?
The drought.
You were not able to do anything about it?
You see, what I wanted to do is I wanted to drill a borehole at my farm so that I use the water to water it, but the cost involved was too much, so I couldn't do it.
Nana Adakwa is not alone. Charles Jemfi has similar concerns.
If you can see that, look at the cocoa trees, that some are dying like this. When the heavy weather comes, you see, it started fertilizing. That's why I started planting trees to avoid that. Even they always advise us to plant flower more, and other trees. But the climatic change is very, very bad to us. Now that it's changing, the rain pattern have changed. You see that the thing have look at the fruits.
Many research works have concluded that increasing temperature and declining rainfall trend will reduce cocoa output in the future. There are therefore suggestions that the chocolate industry must embrace climate-smart agriculture to mitigate the shattering effects of the rising temperature on millions of cocoa farmers across the world. Satisfying our demand for chocolate in 2050 will require significant changes to the industry. Enokwame Sia is Senior Scientific Officer at the Mabang Megakaya Selection Program near Tepa in the Ashanti region.
During the dry season, most farmers lose a lot of their young cocoa plantings. And so year in, year out, they go back to do replacements. Now, all due to this harsh environmental climate that we are getting these days. It is not under our mandate. It is costing them more in terms of having to water their cocoa during the dry season. And that is why, as I said earlier, a group of scientists have also devoted a lot of resources and attention to researching into how to make the cocoa plant more resilient.
Dr. Robert Edu is economist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
If we are unable to manage the climate effect, the negative effect of climate on cocoa production, then lots of livelihoods are going to suffer. People are going to suffer in terms of food security, in terms of income security. And in fact, socially, people are going to suffer because when it comes to payment of school fees and everything at the household level, cocoa producing households will depend largely on money from cocoa. So I think it's important that we begin to look at the negative impact that the changes in climate will have on cocoa production and revenues from cocoa.
So what do you think these individual farmers should be doing from now?
I think that what has to be done going forward is to begin to look at alternative livelihoods for cocoa farmers. So if you go to place where they have cleared all the land and they are using it to produce cocoa, you ask yourself, if cocoa is no more there, what are they going to do? So if government can begin to think about other means of livelihoods, can introduce them to micro livestock production, for example, grass cutter production, snail production, small ruminant production, and then vegetable production, so that when cocoa revenues are falling, farmers can depend on revenues from these other sources.
Just as modern horticulture in developed economies have become industrialized, similar technologies can be applied to cocoa farming. These approaches promise to meet demands for commodity and specialty markets. Chocolate will not disappear, but it will and should become more expensive. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting.
There's a pass Ivory Coast. 2 million tons of cocoa. And a Ghana, it doesn't 800. And Banasa will we're going to go 1 million and a half during these next 3 years.
Now, authorities in the forestry sector are being advised to take decisive steps to stop the indiscriminate cutting of trees in order to control forest degradation. An environmentalist warns deforestation and its attendant effect on water resources is a security issue due to its potential to create conflict between communities. Dr. Richard Amankwa-Kufuor of the University of Education, Winnipeg, says tree planting needs serious attention. Here's Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin again.
Rainfall patterns have become unpredictable the world over. In spite of the changing climatic conditions, a lot of water still goes to waste through surface runoff into lakes and oceans. These extreme weather conditions are not left out, as it highlights the massive task the country faces in conserving the environment.
And if we look around, we are cutting down all the trees. Look at your compound.
Dr. Richard Amankwa-Kufuor is senior lecturer at the Faculty of Science and Environmental Education. He and his colleagues are on a tree planting mission in schools and communities.
We don't care about the environment. People are cutting trees here and there. People are destroying the vegetation and also compacting the soil. As a result of that, when it rains, the runoff water, all the water, the rainwater will turn into runoff water into streams and the rivers and then into the sea without getting time to percolate into the soil to join the groundwater because the soil is compacted. All this is because we have destroyed the vegetation on the trees, which will help to increase the porosity of the soil.
Ghana may face same challenge as South African city of Cape Town. Dr. Emmanuel Date is Dean at the Faculty of Science and Environmental Education.
In the next 10 years, if we are not careful, we've heard what is happening in Cape Town, in South Africa. We may have to face the same challenge. People will have to queue for water and buy water. That's what is likely to happen if we don't plant trees to actually forestall this situation.
The Mampo Municipal Assembly says it is committed to enforcing bylaws to protect the environment. Charles Aseidu is Municipal Environmental Health Director.
We are actually really prepared to enforce the laws, but the few challenges we have is concerning when matters rise up, that we have to forward them to the court. You see that our opinion leaders, very respectable opinion leaders, will come in and intervene on behalf of such people. And that is why we are pleading that it has come to a time that we need all and sundry to give their support to the Municipal Assembly to enforce our bylaws.
Students were taken through basic tree planting lessons during the exercise. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting.
Let's stay with Mohammed Nuruddin as he brings us a report on how Ghana is expected to spend 54 million cedis in registering farmers across the country. The move is expected to boost service delivery to farmers to ensure food security in the country.
The amount will cater for the training and allowances of the enumerators whose training of trainers workshop has ended already in all 10 regions. Field personnel will have their turn in all districts next month across the country. The move is to address lack of accurate data in the agriculture sector, which poses a challenge to proper government planning. Acting government statistician Ba Wadie says the exercise will help to evaluate developmental projects to promote agriculture.
First, to provide current information on the structure of agriculture in the country, which is vital for benchmarking agriculture in the country, and also vital for rebasing the GDP of the country, given that the last census of agriculture was conducted, like I mentioned, about 33 years ago.
He justified the amount earmarked for the project.
As at now, we have about 54 million cedis earmarked for the project. The bulk of it is going to training, particularly training at the district level, and for the allowances that will pay the enumerators. That is why the amount appears huge. Yeah.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting.
You're still watching the Good Friday edition of Joy News Today with me, Bernice Abubedu. We'll take a quick breather now. When we come back, we'll bring you Easter-related stories to stay. Thank you for staying here on Joy News Today with me, Bernice Abubedu. Now, President Akufo-Addo has charged Christians to let the love and sacrifice of Jesus Christ reflect in their lives and attitude to work as the world marks the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Today, addressing the country to mark the day, the president said Easter should remind the nation of its responsibilities to God. According to him, the death and resurrection of Christ should empower the nation to overcome adversity.
It is also a time that we recommit ourselves to following his example, to love, serve, and sacrifice for one another, just as he did for every one of us. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is the ultimate demonstration of victory over adversity. It is a testimony of a new life of hope, promise, and fulfillment for those who believe and work hard towards the achievement of victory. I have no doubt that our nation is on the right path. We're committed to governing according to the rule of law, respect for individual liberties, human rights, and the principles of democratic accountability. We are ensuring the realization of fundamental requirements of social justice and solidarity. We're looking past commodities to position our country in the global marketplace. We're determined to free our people from a mindset of dependence, aid, charity, and handouts. We are bent on mobilizing Ghana's own considerable resources to resolve Ghana's problems. We recognize the connectedness of our people and economy to those of our neighbors. We are building a Ghana beyond aid. Let us celebrate Easter as a real source of hope, that there is a brighter future ahead of us. Let us use this Easter celebration to renew and strengthen our faith in God, and to be confident that with God's guidance, we can transform our nation and use all the blessings that the Almighty has bestowed on us to bring progress and prosperity to all our people. I wish all Ghanaians a happy Easter. May God bless us all and our homeland Ghana.
Well, General Overseer of the Global Revival Ministries, Reverend Robert Ampia Kofi, says Easter is not about merrymaking or having fun, but a time to reflect and give thanks to God for all the good things one has. He said this in an interview with Mama Viowusu Aboaje on the AM show.
The physical crucifixion, the things we saw, he being put on a tree, he being whipped, the crown of thorns, all the things he endured, they all have various reasons. If we have a minute, then I can try to take us through some of it. The cross itself, the pole, the wooden cross on which he hung, he was required to carry it. And the wooden cross represents the taking away of the curses of mankind. According to Galatians 3:13 and 14, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law by being made a curse for us, as it is written, cursed is everyone that hangs on a tree. So the fact that he was killed or crucified itself is significant, because by going on the cross, he was taking away the curses of mankind. And because the Jews required and said in the scriptures that cursed is everyone that hangs on a tree. So by hanging on the tree, he was removing our curses, the curses of humanity, and the things that have troubled mankind. He sort of absorbed it all by hanging on the tree. And then the whipping where he received when he was tied to the post and whipped. This 1 Peter 2:24 tells us that who his own self bore our sins in his own body on the tree, that we being dead to sins might live unto righteousness, by whose stripes ye were healed. And that's trying to tell us that the whipping he received was so that we can be healed. And the crown of thorns that came on his head, it also represents the suffering of mankind that came over on his head, because thorns was the effect of the curse on the ground, that when Adam sinned, the ground was cursed to bring forth thorns and thistles. And Christ put on that crown, or it was forced on his head, so that the curse on mankind, which was an economic curse, all could be broken by the power of Jesus Christ. But above everything, when he went on the cross, he was taking our sins. He was bearing our sins. And every experience that he had on the cross was because he was becoming our representative, and he was taking on our sins in his own body on the tree. And so that's how Easter really should be a focus on what Christ went through and the meaning of what he went through.
Reverend Ampia Kofi in that conversation with Mama Viowusa Boaji earlier on the AM show. Now, when you hear corruption, what comes to mind? Politicians, I guess. Well, the General Overseer of the Trinity Baptist Church, Reverend Kingsley Apieje, says politicians are not the only culprits of corruption. In his Easter message to Ghanaian Christians, he encouraged the church to play its role in eradicating the menace.
Corruption should not be associated only with our politicians. I think that it's eating into the essence of the fabric of our society. And our civil service, unfortunately, has become so corrupt. And there are instances where files go missing, and people will literally not attend to you if you don't give them something. So we can't, and we should not restrict corruption only to our politicians. It's eating up the very fabric of our society. And as a nation, each one of us, and you know what? Most of the times, what we say is that Ghana needs a change, Ghana needs a change. But it has to change with me, Pastor Kingsley. It has to change with you, my brother. Each one of us must see this as a canker. And that whether we like it or not, we've been caught up in this world. At times, even the gifts we give to people is corrupting them. So each one of us will have to change his or her mind for this canker to be eradicated from our society. I think it's so urgent. If you look at a nation like Singapore, Dubai, South Africa, and Malaysia. Once upon a time, they were all where we were, but they sat down, the leaders sat down, and decided to change their mindset. And they began that with the pregnant women. Started educating the pregnant women. As you bring forth, they organized clinics for them and taught them that these are the values you will have to inculcate into your child when they are born. So that is where they started. Then civics. I completed secondary school in 1975.
Now let's talk about multimedia's events this Easter. From feeding the underprivileged at the Easter Soup Kitchen to the kayaking moment of the Fantastic Four tour. Let's start with the Easter Soup Kitchen because it's a great opportunity for you, our cherished audience, and us here at Joy FM to support the poor and underprivileged in society. About 7,000 people will be given free food and clothes and then screened for various diseases at the Efwa Sutherland Children's Park. The host of Home Affairs and producer at Joy FM, Edem Naite, has been talking about it.
Soup Kitchen is happening this Sunday, the 1st of April, at the Efwa Sutherland Children's Park. It's 10 a.m. on the dot. It will be nice to see all of you there to support, the Joy FM team to do this one more time. We've been doing it over the years, and we have lots of volunteers already, but it doesn't matter. You can still come around to help us do this. There'll be lots of entertainment. All our DJs are going to be there on rotation, so come. Your favorite music will be played. You see all your favorite Joy FM team and staff there will be there to do this, and we will need your support as much as possible. So be around and let's do this. It's 10 a.m. Children's Park, Sunday the 1st. We have everything you will need. Food, we're feeding about 7,000 people, and so we will need your support to do this. There'll be medical screening, like I said, lots of entertainment. And hey, if you have other giveaways, probably there are people who can decide that they are coming in, they're coming in with their own packs to give away. Whatever it is that you can pack, just so even if you're doing it for 50 people, 100 people, we're excited. Just come and let's do this together. We'll be expecting and we'll be hoping to see all of you there.
Hope you join us for that event. Ahead of the Easter Soup Kitchen, though, we've got to go kayaking tomorrow, Saturday, in the Volta region. Now, as part of the Joy FM Fantastic Four tour celebrating this month of March as Ghana Month, already our team is excited about this.
This Saturday we are going kayaking on the Lake Volta. So you're coming, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's going to be very, very great. I mean, it's like the 4th of the Fantastic Four trips. This is the grand finale. And the first 3 trips have been great. If you've seen the pictures, if you've seen the videos, you realize that everyone had so much fun. We bonded, saw different parts of the country. And personally, I've never been kayaking before, so the life jackets will be my best friend. But I think that, it's a great opportunity to meet up, bond with other team members, anyone who decides to come. It'll be a good time.
Can you swim, Daniel?
Yes, I can, actually. Do you want me to teach you how to swim that day?
My dear, I can swim. Don't worry about me.
So do you want us to race on the Lake Volta?
Let's do it.
Are you serious?
So, let's do it. So listen, come Saturday, Daniel and I are racing, we're swimming, we're doing this.
Yeah, we are kayaking.
We are kayaking, we're in the water.
Charlie, out of the water, most of the time out of the water for me, but I'll be watching from a safe distance. It's something I've never done before. I only see it on TV. People kayaking and all, and I think it's a great opportunity for people to face their fears, experience something exciting, something fun, something that will get your adrenaline running. For me as well, it's a dual benefit because it's exercise as well. I was actually reading about kayaking and it's how it's good for your middle part, and I'm like, okay, 6 packs, here we come.
6 packs, here we come.
I've been looking forward to this. This is the climax of the Fantastic Four on the Lake Volta. I haven't done this before, although I've taken a ride on a Volta Lake in a jet ski and etc. It's quite fun, but this is different because this you're going to paddle yourself in essence and very close to the water. It's kind of scary, but it's exhilarating as well. I'm looking forward to this, and you cannot miss this for anything. It's one in a lifetime opportunity to join fun-loving people, you know, to kayak on the Volta Lake. Apart from the kayaking itself, the journey to Kosovo is exciting, and because it's going to be the bus, you know, going to be Jama, and I'm really looking forward to that. You know, the excitement of getting to network and interact with people you're meeting for the first time, and for me, because I'm a radio personality, it's not always I get to see the people who listen to you, and so it's an opportunity to interact with our listeners as well. And so, if you're watching and listening, I'm looking forward to interacting with you, getting to know you.
So we've heard from Lexus Bill, Evans Mensah, Daniel Dadzi. Now let's hear from the lady who went to 3 trips, the first 3 trips of the Fantastic Four tour. It is, drumroll please, Nancy MFR Dratosi Mouse.
Is you already excited for this trip?
I am so excited. I can't wait.
The last one, which we visited last week, was Inzu Lezu. That one was lit.
Fire.
Lit.
Fire.
I am telling you,
fire.
It's amazing. You having to go to the village, you know, the community on stilts was beautiful. We came back to the hotel. We went for a bonfire night. That one was something I can never forget. The following day, on our way back, we went to Pancho the Buzia Beach. That is how exciting the Joy FM Fantastic Four trip has been so far. And I believe that the next one that is coming, which is the kayaking on the Volta Lake, would be amazing. Will be refreshing. You should be there. Don't miss this.
You know what? Daniel Dadzi was telling me that he's going to, he wants us to race in the water.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I want to do that. I'll be reporting. Thank you.
But you want to report in the water.
For you, I'll do that. Or for our viewers, I'll do that. I'll do anything for them.
So we are going to report in the water.
And let me say that the official dance for this Joy FM Fantastic Four so far on our trips have been the Aquaba dance. You know that dance, right? Can we do that?
Hey.
Just to show you the fun we are going to be having tomorrow on the Lake Volta as we go kayaking for cool 350 Ghana cedi, water catered for, food catered for, and also transportation. You can't get this anywhere. Please do well to join us. And we'll take a quick breather now for business news.